live. Okay, so it's today's date. It is the 10th, 9/10/2021. Our objective today is going to be solving absolute value equations. Always. How many answers?
2.
How many answers?
2.
All right. Always 2 answers, because there's always going to be a positive and a negative that can give me that positive value. Okay, what's the absolute value function? So that's this right here. This symbol means absolute value. Okay, that symbol right there means absolute value. Okay, and we know that whatever comes out is always positive. And again, it may seem so obvious to us that when you drive to Kashmir, it's 12 miles. Really obvious to us when we go from Kashmir back, it's 12 miles. But if you're a machine, you're going to read that as a negative 12. So part of the reason we learn algebra is it allows us to program. Computers work also in mathematics. So that's why we need to learn this. So, okay, how about, what's the absolute value of negative 4? 4, good. I agree. What's the absolute value of 4?
4.
Good. So that means absolute value of x equals 4 has how many answers?
2.
So x equals?
Negative 4 and 4.
Awesome. Okay, I haven't tricked anybody yet, right? How about this one? No solution. Cannot equal a negative, right? Okay, no solution. Okay, so far, show me thumbs up. Show me thumbs up. So everybody's with me. It's not too hard, is it? Everybody's good? Okay, now, we're going to just change it a little bit, and we're going to solve. So we're going to have 2 solutions. So you know how to solve for x, right? You're just going to have to do it twice, okay? So we know that it can have a positive and a negative value, right? So if we need 2 answers, we're going to need 2 equations. We have to have 2 equations, right? So to get 2 equations, we're going to have the positive part and the negative part, because the negative part will also give me that answer. Okay, so here's how it works. 2 equations. My first equation is going to be the positive one. It's going to be the x minus 4 equals 6. And I got rid of the absolute value symbol, and I'm going to use my positive equation. Okay, here's what I did. 2 equations. To get 2 equations, I'm going to take x minus 4, make it equal to 6. The second equation is going to be x minus 4 equals negative 6. Because the 2 answers, one could be positive, one could be negative, and they can still give us that answer. Okay? So 2 equations. Okay, you ever see that? Here's my positive 6, and my negative 6. Okay? So now what we're going to do is solve both equations. Okay? So I'm going to go plus 4 plus 4. Right? I'm solving for x just like we've done before. X equals 10. That makes sense. It really does. It makes sense. I mean, my answer makes sense. Put 10 right there. 10 minus 4 is what? 6. Absolute value of 6 is? 6. Okay, good. Okay, that seems obvious. Okay, let's do the other one. Okay, let's do the second one. So on the second one, I'm going to go, plus 4 plus 4. And I get x equals what? Negative, 4, sorry. Negative 2, okay? Now that seems like a weird answer, but let's check it. Let's check it. Okay? Everybody watching? Everybody watching? Negative 2 right here. What's negative 2 minus 4?
6.
And what's the absolute value of negative 6?
6.
So it does work, doesn't it?
Yep.
You see how it works? Both answers work. How many answers?
2.
All right, how many equations?
2.
You guys are awesome. Okay, it's Good Friday after all. Okay, now, same thing on example 2. This just has a little bit bigger of an equation. So we still need 2 equations. So, okay, we're going to go 3x plus 1 equals 5. Positive 5. And my second equation is going to have to equal the negative, okay? 3x plus 1 equals negative 5, right? I'm just going to solve both equations, one at a time, to get my 2 answers, okay? So, all right, minus 1, 3x equals 4, divide by 3, x is equal to 4/3. Okay, so here let's talk about this, okay? We're in an algebra class, we're not in 8th grade anymore, hallelujah. You're not in middle school anymore, hallelujah, okay? You're in an algebra class, okay? 4/3 is great. 1/1/3 is great. 1.33333 is great, okay? I'll take any equivalent form. You like that?
Yeah.
I'm smart enough, you're smart enough to give me an equivalent form, okay? You like that? Okay, me too. 4/3 is awesome, okay? Now, let's take a look at the second equation. Let's go minus 1, 3x equals negative 6. Divide by 3, x equals negative 2. I've got 2 answers, don't I? And you can check them, but they both will work, okay? In fact, the negative 2 is always worth putting in, because if you go 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, right? Put that right in there, just to check it. Negative 6 plus 1 is a negative 5, but the absolute value of negative 5 is a 5, right? Okay, cool. So you can also graph these. If you go and do a number line, I go negative 2, 0, and 10. So when you do a number line with me, you don't need to put all the other numbers in. You don't have to put all the numbers in. Okay? I know everybody knows where 0 belongs, right? You don't need to put all those numbers. Okay? You all probably appreciate that too, don't you? All right, I know you know that put 0 here, you know negative 2 is there, right? I mean, we're all smart enough to know that there's a whole bunch of numbers in here we don't need to put, okay? So if negative 2 is a solution, we're going to put a solid dot there. It's a solution. And if 10 is a solution, we're going to put a solid dot there, okay? That's all we're going to do. This is going to come up, we're going to start seeing this in the next chapter. That's why I want to start doing it now, okay? So to put on a number line, I'm just going to go put negative 2 there, because that's a solution, and 10 there, okay? Pretty easy, right? Just shows. Okay, and now on graphing this one, I would go and put my 0. I'll put my negative 2. I'd probably go 1 and 2 here, and I can put my 4/3, which is there, my negative 2 there. Thumbs up. 4/3 is the same thing as 1/1/3. That's why I put it right there. Okay, good. Okay, example 3. You guys ready to solve example 3? Okay, give example 3 a try. Oh, seriously, come on, somebody help me out. I don't want to solve this problem. Yes, what's wrong with this problem?
It's a negative.
See, don't solve this problem. You already know the answer. What's the answer?
No solution.
There you go. No solution, right? I was waiting for somebody to say, wait a minute, Mr. Davis. No solution. Because it cannot equal a negative. Because whatever comes in has to come out positive. You cannot get a negative 7, can you? So don't do the work. No solution. All right? Okay, ready to turn the page? So now you can also have absolute value equal to an absolute value, right? But we're still going to solve it the same way. We're still going to need two equations. We'll need a positive and a negative. It's no different except for we just have a bigger equation, okay? So, I'm going to go 4x minus 10 equals a 3x plus 1. That's my positive. And I'm going to go 4x minus 10 equals a negative 3x plus 1. Okay, now I'm not going to leave the negative there, but I want to show you that it's equals to the negative. Okay, now I'll also make that a negative 3x and a minus 1. I'll show you that in a second. But it does equal the positive and the negative, right? It's the positive and the negative. Now I'm going to fix this and distribute the negative through. Negative 3x minus 1, okay? All right, so 4x minus, and let's solve this one. Let's solve the positive one first, okay? So got x's on both sides, right? Let's get rid of probably the smallest x, okay? X on both sides. Let's get rid of the smallest x. So I'm going to go minus 3x to cancel it. Minus 3x to cancel it. We get a 1x minus 10 equals 1. Opposite of subtract 10 is to add 10 to both sides. Add 10. And I get a 1x or x, same thing, equals 11. Okay, I've got one answer. On the second equation, we're just going to solve the same way. We did bring the negative through. Brought the negative through, so let's solve. I'm going to add 3x, right? Because that's subtract 3x. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 3x. And I get a 7x minus 10 equals negative 1. Cancel. Plus 10, plus 10. 7x equals 9. Divide by 7, divide by 7. If I divide by 7, I get 9/7. I like that answer. I'm okay with that answer. If you want 1 2/7, that's okay too. The decimal's pretty ugly because it's a sevenths. 7 is always a bad decimal. I mean, if you want to put that decimal down, you can. I would take any of these three answers, okay? How's that? They all work for me. Here's my two answers. Okay, now example 5. Just a second. Example 5 is kind of a word problem, okay? We know that the minimum length of a dance routine is 2 minutes and the maximum is 10 minutes, okay? So what I want to do is start off with a number line. This is what I like. This is why I like the number line. So I'm going to start off with a number line. So the minimum is 2 and the maximum is 10, right? So what I want to do is find the middle. I want to find the middle of that. I want to find that middle value, okay? So how am I going to find this middle value? Come on, you guys. Somebody tell me. How am I going to find this middle value? Use your brains. How am I going to get this middle value? I want that middle value right there. Yeah, Tessa? Tava? Sorry.
Sorry.
Well, that's okay. Sorry, too, because I called you the wrong kid, right? Good, Tava.
This is really rough. I don't know if I'm thinking about this right, but if you add them together and then divide it by 2,
You get 6, right?
yeah.
If that were 0, I'd say yes. What do you think, Mars?
Oh, never mind, because, wait, would 5 work? It's 5 times 2. And 5 divided by 10 equals 2.
Well, if that's 5, then the distance here is 3, and that's 5, right? So that can't be the middle, right? Yeah, Tava. You've been thinking better now, haven't you? You got another idea?
Actually, never mind. I'm not thinking.
You guys can do this. Okay, you can. Yes, Julian.
Would distance be 4?
So, yes. Tell us how you got 4. Yes. How'd you get 4?
Well, 4 plus 2 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10.
Okay, I like the way you're thinking. Yes. Can I show it another way? Yes. What is the width or the spread here? Good. And if that's in the middle, this is what Julian said. Julian said we're going to go up 4, which puts this middle at 6. Okay? How's that? That makes sense? So my spread, or my width, is 8. And to get from here to here, I go half of that distance. I go up 4, or I go back that distance, right? Back 4, and I get to 6. That's my middle, okay? Now, if we want an absolute value equation, absolute value of x, okay, we got to have an equation, right? What we have to do then is we've got to get to our middle. And once we get to our middle, we would either add 4 or subtract 4 as an absolute value. So if I go minus 4 like this, I think this equation will work. I think this is the equation that represents the maximum. So let's test it. Yes?
Well, so like negative 4, then it'll be for 10, and then positive 4 would be for 2, right?
Yeah. You see it, don't you? You got it. Yes. Joy. Jay, forgive me. God almighty.
It's the same.
Tessa, Joy, Jay.
It's the same equation as example 1.
Yeah, and it works. You saw that, didn't you? Cool. So if I just do it, x minus 4 equals 6. This is what Preston did. X minus 4 equals negative 6, right? This is what you did in your head, right? And then solve, remember, two equations, positive, negative, plus 4, x equals 10. That is one endpoint, right? And then plus 4, I get negative 2. Uh-oh, I got a mistake here. It should be negative 2. I got a mistake here. 4, 6. Okay. I got the 10, but I didn't get the 2. Okay, let me come back to this. All right, so homework for you guys out of your journal. And what I'd like you to do is get this done as quickly as you can. And then we can work on some of the egg drop. Okay, so I want you to go to page 20. And on page 20, I want you to do page 20 and 21. Page 20 and page 21, I want you to do the 1 through 8 all, and the 9 is the extra, okay? How's that? Not that bad.